The Evil Dead was directed by Sam Raimi, and it started a really successful horror franchise and stuff like that. And that spawned about two sequels and a very, very bloody remake and stuff like that. And it's The Evil Dead is one of the most influential horror movies of all time. First off, it starts off with these crew of teenagers and stuff like that, or adults, whatever, and they go out to this cabin somewhere in the middle of the woods and stuff like that, and they find some kind of book, this evil book and stuff like that. And once they start to read it, some evil spirits are released and stuff like that, which causes these monsters to attack and kill off this crew one by one and stuff like that. And these such bloody fashions and stuff like that. A lot of highly gore scenes and stuff like that. And this is definitely one of the scariest movies I have ever seen in my entire existence. Like, this movie when I first saw this movie, I regretted seeing this movie because, I only watched this movie because it was near the Halloween season and stuff like that a couple years ago, and stuff like that. I was like, this is rated NC-17. I mean, I've seen many horror movies and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever seen anything that's worse than this. Like, the violence in this movie and the gore it's over 100%. It's just extreme, considering that this movie's low budget, it makes this movie a lot more scarier and stuff like that. I have to give credit to all the props that they used in this movie. It looks so realistic and it's so beautiful, and the shots are so well amazing. The characters are well fleshed out. Everything in this movie is absolutely terrifying, and I don't think it will never not be terrifying, because a lot of the special effects that they use in this movie, they're just so convincing and stuff like that. And it's almost hard to watch. All the things that happen in this movie, it's very hard to watch. You just want to look away from some certain scenes, which, from a scene, I don't really want to spoil stuff, but I'm going to spoil it anyway. A scene where, one of the monsters take a pencil and jab it into the girl's ankle, and you can see, the blood gushing out, and then, the skin moving and stuff like that. I can't even look at that. Every time I watch this movie, that's how hard it is for me to look at it. I have to look away while looking at that. And that's just genius horror filmmaking. Bruce Campbell as Ash is excellent in this movie. I wouldn't say he's as his character though is sort of like that one guy typical guy who is not usually like a hero and stuff like that. But as the series progresses and stuff like that, Ash turns into the character like everyone loves and stuff like that. And Ash is a very popular character in horror movie cinema and stuff like that. And he's in movies like Evil Dead 2 when he gets more popular in those kind of movies, Army of Darkness, and the series Ash versus Evil Dead and stuff like that, which I haven't seen yet, but I probably will check out and stuff like that. But yeah, he's just become a very popular character in movie history and stuff like that. He's really good in this movie. It's just that he's not over the top violent as he is in the other sequels and stuff like that. I think all the other characters were well fleshed out too. Some of the characters I didn't really care about, considering that they weren't like characters, but they were way better than the characters that I've seen in movies like Friday the 13th or Halloween or stuff like that. They were somewhat engaging. Some of them were somewhat engaging. They weren't highly special or anything like that, but I could respect it enough at least. The acting in this movie is absolutely beautiful. The acting is top notch, and I think that's another reason what makes this movie actually scary. They don't go with cheap acting in some of these movies like this and stuff like that. I know some low budget horror movies will have terrible acting, but this had really great acting and really great special effects and stuff like that. And that's why I respect movies like The Evil Dead. Now listen up. If you're an adult, you'd probably have no problem watching this movie. But if you're under the age of 18, even if you're a teenager, please don't watch this movie. It is that bad. It's not bad in story. This movie's fantastic. I love this movie a lot. But I'm just gonna warn you. There's blood. There's blood. There's blood. There is blood. Blood. There's a lot of blood. I have never seen a bloody movie in my entire life. This is probably the goriest horror movie I've ever seen. There's blood. There's a lot of blood in this movie. So yeah, I wouldn't eat while watching this movie if I were you. I wouldn't eat, by the way. But if you're a teenager like me and you have no problem seeing The Evil Dead, go right ahead. But I'm warning you, you might not know how scary this movie is, because this movie will scare you. It'll probably even scare an adult. And I'm being honest, I don't think I've ever seen worse before, other than The Exorcist, which is, like, definitely a highly scary. I don't know if I would equal this compared. This movie has to be possibly the second scariest horror movie of all time after The Exorcist and stuff like that. But this movie is that scary. It really is. It's top-notch acting. The special effects are really great. The settings also immaculate. I love the setting and the ambiance in this movie. It makes you feel very uncomfortable, like very uncomfortable just watching it. But this is for people over the age of 18. If you're 18 or older, and if you're a fan of horror movies, and if you've never seen a movie like this and you want to get scared, definitely check The Evil Dead out, because it is one of the scariest movies in existence. And one of the reasons why I love about this movie is the special effects. It's so well done. The acting in this movie is amazing. The characters are well fleshed out for the majority of the film. And the plot's solid. And the setting of this film is just absolutely immaculate. And yes, I know The Evil Dead is a cult classic and everyone loves this movie. And I love this movie a lot too. Trust me, I have a huge heart for The Evil Dead when it comes to horror movies. But this movie does have flaws. I'm gonna be honest. It only has like maybe a couple flaws. There are actually some certain scenes in The Evil Dead that kind of feel rushed, and they shouldn't really feel rushed. The special effects in this movie are top-notch, like I said. I don't have any problems with the special effects. It's just some of the scenes that they use the special effects feel rushed and stuff like that. They just feel rushed, and they're just thrown at you every single other scene and stuff like that. And all the other scenes, another flaw with this movie is they don't really let you breathe and stuff like that. They don't let you out of the violence and stuff like that. The violence is always happening. But I do appreciate about that in the movie. They keep the violence like going and stuff like that, especially if it's an intense horror movie and stuff like that. I like that. It's just, I think they got a little too much of it. Like a little too much of it. And I think that's why the movie got an NC-17 rating, by the way. But I'm not hating on that. I love the violence in this movie. I love the characters in this movie. I pretty much love almost everything about this movie. It's really great. It's a really fun horror movie. It's really nasty and it has so much violence in it. It's insanely scary. It's very highly suspenseful. And other than that, it's just a very fun horror movie. I really love this movie a lot. I really do. There are some moments where it reminded me of The Exorcist and stuff like that too. The scare factor and stuff like that, the suspense, and some of the things that the demons or the creatures would say and stuff like that, it reminded you of The Exorcist. And I was like, oh my gosh, Evil Dead meets The Exorcist. It's like, it's just so insanely scary. Just watch it and you'll find out why. And I know I've mentioned that gore doesn't make a horror movie scary, but this movie actually made it scary. The amount of blood that they use, that they use in this movie, and the actual tension that they have in this movie, and the mood and the tone, this movie is insane. It's insane. This movie is absolutely scary, and I love it for that. This movie has everything you would want out of a horror movie. Everything. Very fun characters. For the most of the time, a solid plot. It's insanely scary. It has everything. This movie is packed with everything, and it's one of the most influential horror movies of all time, and it's a cult classic, and definitely, it's one of the scariest horror movies of all time, and that's why I love this movie for that. And for that reason, I'm gonna give The Evil Dead an A-. So guys, you guys are always the best, as always. You guys are always the best. I just can't thank you guys enough, and I can't even thank you guys enough for 340 subscribers. I'm just so excited that I got this far so far. I've been on YouTube for about a year right now. I really can't wait to get to 400 subscribers, and with you guys especially, because you guys are the main reason why I'm basically here and stuff like that. You guys just show me support throughout my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Look forward to other movie reviews. I will be continuing the Star Wars movies. Don't worry, I haven't forgot about those. I will review the Star Wars movies, and I will review other movies and stuff like that, and other content. And I probably will I will try to make another episode of the Super Mario Bros. Show. I haven't made another one in a while, but I will try to make another episode. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you. Look forward to more content that I make. And as always, I am Mario Fan 520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.